Okay, so hello everyone, welcome. We start our first topic this afternoon, and we'd like to introduce with you our new web EMS system that can use to manage the devices like OLT and ONT.
First question for this: why you're not using the latest version?
Oh yeah, because the material was made on February. So that's why the topic is 04, not 05. Yeah, I know you will ask. So I have some further information about 05 in that slide. Okay, so before starting, I would like to introduce how we enhance on this 04 versions. And also, in our first chapter, I will introduce how we can install the this web EMS system on a Linux server, step by step. And also, in the chapter 2, we'll see what the new feature on this new web EMS system and how we can use that new feature to deploy the ONT and OLT configuration through a web EMS system. And the last one is a cancel on, but unfortunately, I can't set up an EMS server on my laptop because it looks like my PC don't have enough RAM to run the server. Although I can install on a virtual machine on it, but I can't make the server run it. So for this part, we'll just start a remote connection to our lab in Taiwan, and I will demonstrate what's the feature like through the remote access. Okay, so before starting, I would like to talk about what we enhance in this new web EMS system. And right now, our EMS system has a full generation starting from the version number 01 to 03. And the version before the 04 web EMS, those software has to be installed on the Ubuntu server, the 20.04 one. But when it comes to our latest or recent 04 or 05 versions web EMS system, the software has to be installed on the 20.04 Ubuntu. Okay, and here I also list some key points to tell the difference of the new web EMS system and the version before it. And the first feature is about that the difference is that the EMS system before the 04 ones can only support our previous line card. For example, the GPON line card, the 42A1. Also, our previous SGS phone line card. On the latest 04 versions web EMS system can support our new generations line card. For example, the OLC 3416-IA, and also the other 3A16-IA, which we already know in the morning. Okay, and another feature is that the EMS system before the 04 one can only allow users management to add OLT devices as a management node through the SMPv2 protocol. But in the latest EMS system, it allows users to add the OLT as a management node through the SMPv3 and the v2 protocol.
We are talking about protocols which are 50 years old.
Oh yeah, I know. Because already told me last year, you're quite interested about why, yes. Okay. And another feature another difference between the latest EMS and the previous one is that the previous EMS can only allow users to provision OLT and ONT settings through the script. And the idea of the script, just like with using a command line to do the configuration of the OLT. So if a user want to use a script to provision OLT and ONT, they need to be familiar with our OLT's command lines configuration, so they can use the script. And in the latest 04 EMS, aside from supporting the script to provision ONT and OLT, it also allows users to provision the devices through a new function called template. And the idea of the template, like we did on a command line this morning, then we need to create several profiles and then combine the profiles into a single template so that we can apply the setting on ONT. Okay, and this is the latest function like Michael is on our latest 05 EMS. That it supports a new function called auto discovery. We can let the EMS automatically scan the OLT with the IP in the range we assign. And if the EMS find the OLTs with the IP we assign, it will add the node, add the OLT devices into its management node automatically. And this feature can be found on our previous Java EMS before, if you have experience with that software.
Auto discovery function, when I have a range from IP addresses, which I have using SNMP version 2 and SNMP version 3.
Yeah, I recall there's another filter such as we can filter devices like that running on SNMP 2 or really. Yeah, a serial filter. Can also show you the third part, the hands-on.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me introduce how we can install this software on the 20.04 Ubuntu server. Okay, and the agenda of this topic will combine these two parts. In the first part, we will talk about what's the basic hardware and software requirement to make the servers working. And also, in the second part, I will introduce what kind of command and steps we need to use in order to install the software on the Ubuntu server. Okay, and let's is the basic system requirement shared by our marketing team. And as you can see, that also this hardware specification the information shared by our RD team. And here I list some key points like for the hardware specification. The first one is I mark the required memory specification should use like a 64 gigabit DR5 or a specification. And also from the software side, as I mentioned before, the software has to be installed on the 20.04 Ubuntu. And the running Linux system has to be the 64-bit version. And the supported devices support the EMS system list here. And as you can see, that the EMS system can support the previous GPON systems, such as the OLT 1408 and the OLT 3416.428. And also, a new system can also support our latest OLT card, for example, like the 3416-IA and the 3816-IA as well. And please note that our EMS system won't support OLT 2406 anymore. So I list here, the EMS system can also manage those active fiber devices. For example, we can let the EMS system to management NSEN has a running our active fiber card, the GLC, list to GLC card.
And also the chassis that has 6214 support, or 17 support. That's the only IS212, but not the Windows chassis, the IS17.
You mean only Ubuntu version?
I mean, the big chassis with the set 17 slots. Is it not in the?
17
Because
slots.
only for 3 chassis.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, we not suggest to running on like
Honestly,
6 to 17.
Fiber.
So 35.
Four.
Yeah, because from the information they share here,
And
it's not maybe not suitable to management the chassis. Because the content,
that is the same.
yeah.
That is in the release note, it's implemented.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, and list all the required port number that we need to enable on the devices like firewall in advance if we want to install the software. And due to the port number they list here is nearly the same like the one they share on our Java EMS. So I just go through quickly. And since the EMS we want to install this time, the web system. So aside from the port number I listed here, we need to also put an extra port number 9116 for the web server as well. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce how we can install this system on the Ubuntu 20.04 server. Okay, and this is a step that we need to use. Okay, so our first step we suggest to you to operate that we need to make sure our Ubuntu server we install the 20.04 ones. And also after we install this Ubuntu server, we then suggest we type in the apt-get command, make sure the package we install on Ubuntu server will be the latest one. And after that, and following the commands here, just type in a command on the Linux server, like the Linux server to automatically download and install the package. Okay, and our step 4 is like I also suggest we can install an OpenSSH server on our Linux server as well. Because if we install this server on our Linux devices, we can easily just start a SSH session to our Linux server with a tool like a Teleturn or a PuTTY. And after that, we can just easily copy and write the command on the installation guide through a tool. It makes us more easier to install the software. Okay, and the last one is that we need to make sure we need to check the time zone setting on our Ubuntu server. The reason why we need to check this system is that we need to make sure the time zone setting set on your EMS system, the MySQL database, and also the Linux server is the same. Yeah, because just like Michael says, if the time zone setting is not matched, you won't be able to schedule a task on the time you want the EMS to implement because the time is different. Okay, and step 6 is also used to set the time zone related setting on the server. And the first message, the reading message shows here, we can ignore it. Okay, and after that, we go to step 7 to set up the relevant setting for the MySQL database. We can easily just copy and write a command on our remote access tool easily without the need to type in manually.
Must the customer use root and MySQL as password, or can we change it?
Very solid. Yeah, because I'm not 100% sure, but due to this comment, our RDT shared to us, so I'm not 100% sure whether we can do that.
The customer to ask, they want not use the default setting, use their own password and their own username.
Yeah, but maybe I can write down the question for you. So you mean customer want to
Want to use root and want to use MySQL as password. To change it. It works. I know it's.
Oh, you mean they check even though they change the user, it still work?
Yeah, they use the same information. They do it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it looks like user can change this setting here. Here.
I copy paste this so and for a new system. I mean the update user set.
Update.
Point.
Oh yeah, you can just copy it, right? Right, the message here.
Blank or something like in books.
No, you just simply copy right here.
Yeah,
Comment here.
copy-paste.
Yeah, because the comment we showed here is like installation guide.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is an extra setting we need to set on the MySQL shell as well.
But the F needs to be changed. Time zone.
Yeah. So you can see that we have a comment here. Make sure we let the time zone setting of like Linux and MySQL to be the same. Okay, and another setting we need to set is that we need to set the configuration of the MySQL D file. And after we use the editor to open the file, we then use the we then add the comment with this here into the file like this. Please note here we also need to make sure that we set the time zone set to the configuration file. Also, another setting we need to make sure that we set correct is the binding address. And that we need to make sure the binding address will have the value with all zero like this. Okay, and after that, we can leave the editor and use this command to restart the relevant service.
I took some more. Yeah. On the back. Line address is the address for connecting from the web from the Windows PC to the server, to the Ubuntu server. But also this IP address is using for connecting to the node. And the customer say, no, we want not use it. We want to have a separate network for administration the EMS and one IP address for connecting to the node. It is possible. We implement what the post IP. You can implement this also in the EMS setting that you have a host IP that is a separate network.
So
the bind address,
address
for the connection to the Ubuntu server from your Windows PC, and host address is the IP address for connecting to the nodes. It is possible to separate this.
Okay.
Only for information.
Oh, thank you for your training.
Yeah, you know it from
Yeah, because for me, I just simply type in.
Yeah, you
that
from Wemacom.
Wemacom.
From Wemacom. They have the host IP implemented.
Yeah. IP they use to manage melody.
Yeah,
and the real IP we access the EMS is different. Okay. Okay, and another setting we need to set on the EMS instance is this one. Now we need to simply just uncomment this setting from the configuration file. And then if it's the editor, and use a command to restart the service. Okay, and step 10 nearly the same. Like we need to do some configuration change in the configuration file. And what we need to change this time, that we need to use it. I think I grabbed the wrong screenshot here. The actual things we need to do is like we need to change this parameter a configuration file. Okay, and after that, we leave the editor and then type in this command. And the output of this command will show like this. We simply select the yes from the yes no question here. And after that, we need to use this command to restart a relevant service as well. Okay, so the environment we already set up. So right now we are going to introduce how we can install the EMS software on a Linux server. And the first step we need to do that we need to upload the EMS installation package through the FTP protocol to our Linux server. And after we make sure the software, the image file is already transported to the Linux server, then we use this command to direct to the path where we put the EMS image file is. And after that, we use the command that shows this here to unzip the image file, and then drag to the target folder and use this command to start installation. And during the installation, the software will ask several questions. For example, like the IP address of your servers, or another new function. You want to register this on EMS system, or you want to use a trial version. It will also ask a question during the installation like this. You can just simply, based on your current situation, to type in the information during the installation. Okay, so when everything is okay, the EMS system will now able to run. And the status will show like a table like this. It means all the server we install on the Linux server are running status. Okay, and after we finish installing this, we can easily access the web EMS system through a web browser, and then type in the server's IP we just configured during the installation here. And following with a port number 9116, we open for the web server. And so that we can go to a web GUI like this. And the default username and the password is like all the T system. The value is admin1234. Okay, and this is the abstract setting.
One thing is important.
Yeah.
For the latest version, we changed the HTTPS to secure. The old version are working with HTTP and it's far more.
Oh.
For the new version, you need.
Oh yeah, you need to type in like HTTPS with a comma and a slash. Otherwise, you can access the EMS system. Yeah. Okay, and this is another setting we suggest to set on the EMS system as well. And now we need to, like before, we need to use the editor to open this file. And then we suggest to configure the setting be like this. And for example, for the setting of the file URL, we suggest to type in the IP address of a web EMS server. And for the file path, we can just enter it here. And other important setting we need to keep in mind are the user and the password. And these two parameters has to be the same to your server, because the setting we suggest to set here for our OLT devices to know where the OLT can download the ONT firmware from. And as we already know that we see a set output setting like this on OLT devices. Means the OLT devices will get the firmware from the TP server with the IP address like this. And this is a file that the OLT will get from the FTP server. And in this case, the FTP server means our EMS system. And also, in order to let the OLT be able to access the Linux server directly, you also need to fill in the password and the user account here. You can see that the setting is matched to the one we set on the EMS system here.
But also FTP. Now, when you go to a customer and say we are working with FTP, they say, what's this? That is not secure. It's not allowed.
Oh, you mean like a SFTP?
FTP or whatever, but
No.
FTP is very old. It's not secure. And
Yeah.
I have a question from a customer which have a firewall between the PCs and the EMS. We must open FTP port. We do this since 5 years now, yeah.
Yeah, so if customer asking a more secure FTP, it might be a feature request. Yeah. Let NIST start to help to evaluate.
FTP that is supported.
Yeah, right now this one is for FTP setting.
Can you isolate it in a management network?
Isolated to the management network.
And so that you have some sense of security, so that all the management between the ONT, the OLT, and to this server are contained into an isolated network that the user and that wants to connect or try to attack can't reach, so that it doesn't really connect to internet either.
Yeah, you can connect to your LAN, not like internet.
And you can isolate it into one VLAN that is separate from everything else, hosted by a separate DHCP server.
And it's true, you can use a private network for this, yeah. But
yeah,
anyway, also the administrator from the in-house installation say FTP, what?
At least it's better.
Yeah, of course. Sure, but most internet attacks comes from in-house, yeah. From the company.
Yeah. But then it has a different problem.
Yeah. And then it comes FTP. It's HTTP. It's not secure.
okay. Okay, so now we finished the introduction about how we install the new EMS system. But right now we will see what's the new feature on our recently 0.4 version Web EMS with you. Okay, and the whole agenda of this topic combine these two parts. And the first part, I will introduce how we can. So I already introduced with you that it is the 0.4 EMS system allow users to management the OLT devices through SMPv3. So we will see how we can use this feature on an EMS system to management OLT devices. And also I will introduce how we can let our OLT devices to send a traffic destination setting to the EMS system through SMPv3 as well. And in the second topic, we will talk about how we can use the latest Web EMS system to deploy the ONT through with our EMS system. And the configuration combine the three parts that we will start from configuring the OLT devices through Web EMS system. Then we will see how we can configure ONT settings through the EMS system as well. And the last one, we will see how we can use EMS system to provision the ONT with a configuration we made on the EMS system. So this is a new feature. This is a new feature on the Web EMS system. Like we will see how we can add an OLT as a management node through the SMPv3 protocol. And the way how we can start the operation is like we need to click the system button here and then click the security tab I mark here. Then press the map management link on the list here. We'll go through a page like this. And here we need to press the new button here to open the page which we can create a new management node on the EMS system. Okay, and to the fact that we want to manage an OLT device through the SMPv3 protocol. So we need to be sure we select the correct SMPv protocol from the drop-down menu here. And also, aside from this setting, we also need to make sure that the account and the password, we do this. And also we need to make sure that the hash and the encryption method we set for the account on our OT devices is match the setting with our OT.
One question, customer asked me why we implement first point for connection in node as last point. The system is the last point in the list. And this is the first step the customer must make this really sense.
Because I think the reason why we link here, I would think customer will only,
in my opinion,
yeah.
must be behind the dashboard, but not at the last point.
Yes, I think the reason we put here,
The customer must use, yeah.
yeah. I think the reason they put here is like they think this operation is the last feature we will use, because we only use this feature at the beginning of the provision of OT.
Yeah. When I implement a new node, this is the first step. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the system is running, I must implement a node.
Uh.
Without node, it makes no sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, I can also share the suggestion back to Teresa.
Yeah, you can also have some government. Do it from down to up. Because they start with the dashboard side, yeah, and go down.
And the last one. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if we want to manage the OT devices through the XMPv3 protocol, we need to make sure that the account we use set on the ENS system is already exist on our OT devices. And if not, we need to create an account. I would suggest we need to create an account on our OT device through the page like this. How we can access this page? That we can click this link from here and then click this user account. So that we will enter a page like this. And yeah.
This will be configured directly in CLI as well, right?
Oh yeah, configure through CLI.
So if you're setting up many OLTs at the same time, you can skip a lot of these steps, right?
Or you can just use your default admin 1234 for V3 management. Yeah, because it's less security, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we need to type in the setting on this web GUI. And also, there's another suggestion. If we create an account on our devices, it's like we need to access this page on the OT system. Make sure the management protocol we set on the OT devices set in a V3 already. And please, this setting must match the setting we set on our ENS system. Otherwise, the ENS system won't be able to manage the OT devices. And the other setting we need to make sure is that we need to make sure the hash method and the encrypt method we set for the account is the same one we set on the ENS system. Because by default, the supported hash method and the encrypt method on the ENS system is a SHA and AES. So if we create an account on all the devices, we need to make sure that those two methods we set for that account to be matched our the setting on our EN system as well. Okay. Okay, and so after we finish creating the account on our OT devices, we then to the ENS system on this page. Then we typing the information of the account we just create on the page. And as you can see, that we create an account with an account like this, and also the password like this. And we need to make sure that the hash and encrypt method we set on the OT devices to match the one we set on our ENS system here. Okay, and after that, we can click the apply button to add this OLT as a management node on the ENS system. Okay, and this is another feature that we can use with SMP v3 protocol on the ENS system. The one I'm going to introduce, how we can set the OLT system to send its trapped information to ENS system through the SMP v3 protocol. And the way how we can perform this operation is like we need to click the system button like before, and then following the link the arrow here, it goes to a page like this. And on this page, we will see that the ENS system has already created SMP v3 account for the v3 management. And for example, we can see that as a default username like the SMP v3, and also as a default password as well. And as you can see, that the password is not invisible at the moment, but we can still access the command line of the Linux system to get the information of the password.
Also, this things the security guy
Yeah.
know that we can see every password from all nodes, and also for the security things, they say what?
So are you?
Also, from Vimacom, it's nearly 500 nodes, and they know every password, every node. The security guy knows this.
But the password shows here just the password we access the ENS system.
Yeah,
it's not the one we can access the OLT devices.
Yeah, but there is no secure nothing. Why is that not included?
Yeah, so maybe it's a good feature request for them to evaluate.
The security guy knows that you know all the passwords. They would say, what? Switch off.
Okay, so due to this time, we want to let the OLT devices be able to send the trapped information to ENS. And we need to make sure that the count of the ENS system is already created on our OLT as well. And like before, you can follow the step here. That's a page like this. And typing the essential information, create an account on the OLT devices. And the reason why I have another animation like this, that I want to express that it must be matched the one we set on our ENS system. And also, we need to make sure that the hash and the accurate method we set for the account is match the setting we set on the ENS system as well. Okay, so now I will going to introduce how we can use our ENS system to deploy the ONT devices. Okay, and this is a topology in our example. So you can see that the topology is the same like the one we use in this morning. But to simplify the topology, I only use counted one GS phone HGU devices to the phone 1-8. Okay, so before we start introduce how we can provision the ONT devices through ENS system, I would like to introduce the new configuration feature of our web ENS system to you. And the feature on the web ENS system can help us to configuration the setting of all devices through a web GUI like this. And how can we access this page? It's like we need to click a provision button here and then follow the arrow, tap one and select a device from here. Then we can go to a page like this. And as you can see, the display of this page is quite similar to the web GUI of the OLT devices. So how we can configure the devices of OLT? we can simply click the items from the list here. Then we can go to a functional page like this. And then based on our requirement to select the setting from the drop-down menu, or just entering the values we want to set on the OLT devices. And after that, we can use the apply button to apply the setting to the OLT device directly. And please note, the setting, the configuration here will only save in a running configuration of the OLT devices. So if you want EMS system can help to save the configuration of the OLT devices, you can press the button, the configuration save here. Okay, and this is a new feature on the Web EMS system. About that we can, right now we can use the ONT templates to provision the ONT's configuration. But before this version, we have to use the script to provision the ONT devices. And we can easily select required template or the profile from the drop-down menu here. As you can see, that the drop-down menu will contain several essential profile, sample for the viewpoint provision use or for the active fiber vision use. And so we already know that if we want to provision an ONT's configuration, we need to create several profiles on OLT devices. And then we need to combine those profiles into a single template and apply to the ONT. So this is the actual display. What happens if we want to use the EMS system to provision the ONT's configurations to the function. And also the EMS system will shows that whether this provision success or not, or if the provision fail, we will also list the fail reason from the link here. Okay, so now I start to introduce how we can use the EMS system to configure the setting of all of the devices. And in this part, we'll introduce how we can use the EMS system to configure this full setting. Okay, so this one the first step is that we need to make sure the port we want to register the ONT is enabled. And if you remember, as we already know, this is the first step that we suggested to configure on OLT. If an OLT has to be provisioned before. Okay, so how can we go to this page? That we can click go to the configuration functional page, then select the device drop-up list here. And then due to our first step is that we want to enable an S-phone port. So we can easily follow the area I mark here, goes to a page like this. And we can easily select the target phone port from the drop-down menu here. Example, we want to set the setting for the phone port 1-A. Select the slot 1 from here. Select the port number from the list here. And then we use this checkbox to make sure that to let the port enable. And also, we can use the select the register method we would like to apply on this phone port from the drop-down menu here. Okay, so this step, we were going to see how we can create VLAN setting on OLT devices through Web EMS. And like before, we need to access a relevant functional page for the VLAN setting. And we can easily follow the step we list here to create the VLAN on our OLT devices. And in our example, we need to create two VLAN on the devices. It's for the VLAN 100 tagged uplink port 1. And the other one is the VLAN 4001 with tagged uplink port 1 of OLT. Okay, so the third step, we suggest to configure OLT. That we need to enable the IGMP setting of our OLT devices. And like before, we can easily just follow the error on this page. Go to the functional page like this. Sorry, and maybe a screenshot is too small to display. That's the display just like the web we usually use on the OLT devices. Okay, so on this page, can select the setting like the VLAN mode or non-VLAN mode of OLT. And here we select both settings to be looping. Then click the up button. Okay, and then we need to create the relevant MVLAN on the OLT. And how we can do that? We can follow the links like this. And fill in the essential information, then click the apply button. Okay, and the list page can help us to set up the group IP range of the MVLAN table. And in our case, we enter the value as the group number in this range. And click the apply button here. Okay, and the next IGMP related setting need to set is the IGMP group privilege profile. And how we can configuration that setting on our OLT devices. But we need to select the group IGMP group privilege profile from the drop-down menu here. And then we click the new button on the right side, so we can go to a functional page like this. Then we type in the essential configuration based on our scenario. For example, we can type in the range of the group number in this table and give the privilege setting the permit. Okay, and the list page is talk about how we can create the QoS bandwidth profile on our OLT devices. And like before, we need to access the functional page, selecting the bandwidth profile from the drop-down menu here. And then click the new button on the right side. And please note, due to we want our ENS system be able to manage the previous GPON system and also the newest GPON system. So here we have a two part setting the QoS setting on the previous OLT card and recently OLT card. And the tables on the top is for the setting, because if we want to apply the setting on the newest OLT card with a number like this. If we want to apply if we want to create a bandwidth setting to the previous OLT devices, we need to enter the relevant values in the field here. Okay, and in our case, we need to create two service profile. One is for 10G and the other is 100 mega. Okay, so once we finish creating the profile, we should be able to find out the profile we created from the list on the website. Okay, so now we move on to see how we can configure the OLT settings through the web EMS system. And as we already know, in order to provision an ONT's configuration, we need to create several profiles like this. And the summary then into a single template for the provision. So in the next slide, we'll show you how we can create those profiles through web EMS by one. Okay, so the first one is that we need to create a unique profile for the ONT. And how we can do that is that we can select the ONT unit profile from the drop-down menu here. Then clicking the new button to go to a functional page like this. And if we remember our scenario, it's like we will have a two VLAN for different service. The first one, a VLAN in VLAN 4001 for the IPTV service. And the second service is that we need to create a VIP port setting for the VLAN 100. So we can scroll down to the middle of this page. Then click this checkbox. Start the configuration of the VIP port or the VIP port of the ONT. Okay, so as we already know that the meaning of the unit VLAN is the one we want the ONT's unit port can help to translate, do a VLAN translation to the VLAN tag. And the other setting is that the filter VLAN, like we can set here. So if we set the filter VLAN to V100 like this, the VLAN 100 like this, it means the packet enter or leaving the unit port of an ONT must be in the VLAN, tag VLAN 100. Okay, and the other one is the service profile. This profile is also essential for the OLT provision as well. And we can just easily go to the functional page, then press a new button and can start a setting. And please remember that the profile will act as to decide whether the profile will be used on a VIP mode of ONT or the mode of ONT. And the setting can also select from the selection here. And if this service profile is for a specific port of the ONT devices, we can also assign the setting from the drop-down menu here. For example, this service profile is for the XLAN port 1 for the ONT. So we select XLAN port 1 from the drop-down menu here.
When I configure a Wi-Fi interface modus 5, I must select XLAN.
No, because the default setting is a LAN. Yeah. In our test case, we create a VLAN 100 for the XLAN port. So that's the reason we need to select XLAN here.
For the if you configure a bridge,
Yeah.
and then of course, I must select XLAN or LAN. But for the wide configuration here, for the VLAN mode,
yeah, VLAN 100 fine to this one.
must I select the XLAN one?
Oh, because it is on the scenario we want to implement on the ONT. Yeah. And this ONT has a one LAN port for the 10G service and the other are for the GPON. So that's the reason we suggest to select here.
Must select XLAN.
Yeah. Okay, and the next profile we need to create is a multicast profile. And this other required setting we need to fill into a functional page. You can see that we need to enter the setting like a unique VLAN ID, decide what's the IGMP version for the ONT. And also we can decide the XT tag mode for the ONT device is a transparent or an tag or replace. Also, please don't forget to import the group privilege profile, which we created on the configuration of the OLT device here. So after that, we can just press the apply button to create the profile on the EMS system. And now we need to create the OLT profile for creating the to ONT when on our ONT devices. And how we can do that is like we can just simply press a new button on the functional page. And then fill in the configuration we would like to set. And for example, we can decide whether we can configure the service control setting of the ONT. Do we want the ONT to be able to perform an ICMP pin test from the other devices? Instead, let the ONT service control the ICMP be able to function. Decide whether the ICMP pin test can be established either from the WAN side of ONT or LAN side or both.
I think there is a complete remote management setting what we show on the optional. For example, also Telnet is implemented. Telnet is no longer available on the AX7501. It is no longer in the system. Oh, what happens when I send this to a device which normally not no Telnet?
You mean what happens if the ONT not support the function but we create? I think the ONT just ignore it because it can recognize and support the function. Yeah.
Okay.
Would suspect that it can be problematic because it depends on how it sends it. If it would just as expected and send it as a parameter tree, as you would with the TR369, the instance number when you remove telnet changes, and it doesn't stay the same. So if it's reset, then it expects telnet to still be there, but it's not, and it configure what's after SSH, I think. Yeah. So it might do that if it's configured badly.
So that is a complete style from old devices, yeah, but the new firmware version has no longer telnet and also no longer HTTP.
Because we have encountered that, but that was TR369 69.
Yeah.
But it did actually change so that it removed the telnet instance number in the normal
Parameter
list, the parameter list, the instance number. So it did actually then when this customer thought they still had the configuration for the telnet, it wasn't there, so they configured the safe instance.
Also, this setting sets the remote management configuration and not the service provider configuration. It would be also an issue by customers. When you change here the remote management configuration, this is normally the part which an end customer can use for reach the device. It is visible as admin. As a SP setting, it's only visible as supervisor. And I'm not really sure if there's a good option that we can set it.
Yeah, because
the
the setting we set here is only, for example, if we want let the user connect behind the LAN port and uniport of ONT be able to access the web GUI, we can set the either like HTTP or HTTPS for the LAN to be enabled. But if we want to limit the user not able to access the web GUI, we can set like a WAN, and we can select the WAN on the drop-down menu here. So that it means the user connect behind the ONT's uniport is not able to access the ONT.
Yeah, but again, the end customer can change the setting. The end customer can connect via admin and can change this. So this is the only way we can remote reach the ERD. And the end customer say, why is WAN open? They disable it and say only from the LAN side, then you have no chance to reach the device.
Or you mean the user access the web GUI of the ONT?
It's a normal end customer. They have an admin and normally the password for the device, and he can change this setting.
For about the ONT side, I'm not 100% sure, but from the OLT side, I think it depends on whether the account we log in like EMS system or OLT devices have enough privilege for us to set the setting on ONT. Yeah. So I think we still have a mechanism to avoid such things happen. Yeah.
The privilege For the admin user, it's the same, and you can change the setting. Normally, it makes this set configuration more sense.
Yeah.
For the SP domain settings, that we can change this, so that an admin can have no chance to change this.
Does it make sense to have the configuration of the ONT fully from this system? I think not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we want to disable such function, we can just ignore the setting here.
Yeah.
Because by default it's not active. It is not active on ONT. Okay, so let's scroll down to the bottom of this page to start the configuration of the WAN setting of ONT. And we already know that we need to create two on the ONT devices. One is for the V100 and the other is the VLAN 4001. So,
Sorry to interrupt you again.
yeah.
Can you explain me? You're an active field, yeah? That is the default gateway, I know. What is this for everyone? Oh, this one just, if you remember, if we configure the setting through the command line, once we enter the WAN interface, we need to type in the command enable to let the WAN work. Yeah, but this is a WAN setting. I think this is enable of the broadband. Oh yeah, because you see, if you're not allow you to go in line from it. Okay, that's only activating the line. Yeah, activating the line. This is the enable from the broadband configuration. Oh yeah. Okay. Then I understand. Okay.
If you want to have pre-configured like IPTV settings, but then turn it off. Or turn off management if you.
Yeah, you can disable it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so after we finish creating the required profile, we then combine it into a single template on the same functional page. And like before, we need to press the new button here and then give a name of this template. And decide what's the name of the unit profile and the ONT profile we want to apply into this template. And also we can use the tables here to establish the setting like the service. And if you remember that we need to create two services in this template. So that we need to click the checkbox here, select to let ENS allow user the configuration. And then typing and then selecting the essential the configuration we want to apply into this service. Okay, and when we scroll down to the middle of the page, we will see another field that can allow us to set the TCON of the ONT devices. And in our cases, we want to apply the service 1 and 2 into a single TCON. So how we can do that is like we can easily take a checkbox here, and we can able to do the configuration of this row. And since we want to combine service 1 and 2 into a single TCON here, so we select service 1 and 2 from the list here, and then selecting the bandwidth profile, we want to apply this to the TCON from the drop-down menu here. Okay, so we scroll down to the bottom of this page, we will see another field allow us to set the multicast profile of the ONT. And we can easily just enable the feature here and select the multicast profile we just created on the EN system. Importing the multicast profile we just created into this template. Okay, so now we're going to see how we can do a ONT provision through Web EMS system. Because right now we already created the template we want. Okay, so how can we perform ONT provision? It's like we can go to the service page unless following the error I list here. And after that, we press a new button here. So we will go through a page like this. And the next step is like we need to press this button to let the EMS system automatically list those ONT devices that's connected to all of these. And as you can see, the word might be quite small to recognize. It has two buttons shows here. And if you want to change the configuration of an exist registered ONT, you press the button here. And if you want to let the EMS system to only filter those unregistered ONT at the moment, you press the button here. You will able to find the ONT's information from the list here. And in our cases, due to we want to provision list unregistered ONT from the list, so we tick the checkbox here, then press the OK button. Okay, so after finishing the previous step, we will go back to this page. And it's too small to recognize, but the table shows here will list the information of the GPON serial number and all of the register ID of the ONT in this table. And then we click this table here. So then we can go to a functional page like this. And the first thing to do is that we need to this checkbox to let the template work. And also we select the template we created from the drop menu here. Then press this OK button to apply this template to the target ONT devices. Okay, so after the step, we were able to see the detailed information of the configuration we set on ONT in this small table here. Okay, and then we press the Save button to let the EMS system help to start the provisioning of ONT. And the status of the EMS system was starting from the wait, which means the EMS system is now in the wait status before it starts to doing the ONT provision. And then the status will change to the processing, which means the EMS system is doing the operation at the moment. And if the operation is a success, if the provision of the ONT is a success, it will show the success message here as well. Okay, so now we go through the hands-on part. But unfortunately, I mentioned before, I can't let the EMS server running install on my PC to run due to the hardware specification. So this part, I would like to just remove to our lab devices to demonstrate what the feature might look like. But so let me introduce what kind of hands-on for the hands-on I would like to show to you. And this is the first case. Like what should we do if we want to move our ONT from an at-home port 1-A to another home port like a 1-10? And this is a suggestion of a step to moving your ONT devices. And here we suppose you provision the ONT devices configuration all through the web EMS system. So you are able to find your ONT devices in the service list on this page. And since we are going to move our ONT devices to another home port, so like before, we always suggest that we delete the ONT devices from the list here. And we can easily just take the checkbox and press the delete button. So like we can remove this ONT from the ONT device directly. And then we move our ONT device from the home port A to home port 10. And then we following the step at least in the pass-through provision ONT to start the provision process again.
How long I must wait? 2 minutes?
should be, but that time won't take long. I think probably 1 or 2 minutes at most. Okay. Okay. Okay, and this is the next question. Is that how we can what happen? Should we do if we want to change the current configuration of our ONT devices? For example, be a new VLAN setting on this topology. And as you can, if you can remember that the original VLAN we want set on ONT, the VLAN 100 and the VLAN 4001. So what happened? What should we do if we say we want to change the VLAN setting of the ONT devices to be these two VLAN? And the latest step we can use. So what we need to do is that we need to make sure the new created unit profile, the setting we want. And since right now we want the ONT's unit profile to have a VLAN setting for 2000 for IPTV service. So we need to fill in the relevant setting on the page here. Okay, and then we scroll down to the middle of this page to setting the setting for the UniVLAN 200 as well. And what's more, we need to create the relevant service profile for the VLAN 200 and the VLAN 2000 with the same step here. And also, please don't forget you create the correct multicast profile with the correct VLAN setting here as well. Okay, and also we need to create a new ONT profile on the new VLAN, the VLAN 200 and the 2000. Okay, and after that, we combine them into a new single template. Oh, and use this new creative template to perform our provision of ONT, the step we use in part 3. Okay, so here I remove to our EMS system. Be sure what the feature might look like. Okay. Okay, and the one installed in our lab is a 05. But I just demonstrate a 04 feature with you. Okay, and this page, the previous provisioning function of our web EMS system. And as you can see that the format of the configuration file is like our command line. And in this example, the user creates a single template for registering ONT with a serial number like this, and the register ID like this. Okay. Okay, and if we entering the script like this format, you can see like we have a duplicate like this. It means the value in the packet will kept as the parameter that the EMS will ask us to entering while we use this script to apply ONT's configuration. In this case, you can see that it's interface GE, so it's called active fiber. The idea is the same. Okay, and this is the functional page I introduced, and this is the first one. Like we want to do some
Okay, so go to ACL. I want to.
ECL.
That's correct. So you are correct. The configuration
Oh, okay.
and configuration.
Which one?
Top configuration.
Top configuration.
The right one.
Right. Sorry. Which one? Oh, okay.
Funnel. Yeah. See, new vertical.
Hmm. Oops. Oh, okay. What? Yeah. This is a setting.
Drop.
Or will be forward.
Yeah, you can select it to forward.
Yeah.
But, this is missing in your presentation.
Yes.
Yeah.
We forgot that.
And also, yeah, I'm missing. Normally, the multicast packet, the unknown multicast, and you get this battery. If the description here wrong. Could be a complete other context. Reserve multicast for antivirus for looks for me. Yeah, I was something reserved. But the name is normally the reserve.
Okay. Yeah, it's more.
Here, that's for me, right?
Yeah, so it's more like a grammar problem.
Yeah.
We should type in.
This is a problem, but when you check the battery, it is complete.
Yeah.
For me, like a bug.
Yes, it's a per problem. Can just write down and report back to Tristan.
This is version 6. The default drop. It's state of the art in the year 2024 that we dropped IP version 6.
A user can still.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's really the state of the art. So state to 2024 we dropped IP version 6.
Yeah, maybe they have a layer.
I know
The reason why they said like this.
Will say,
Yeah.
it was always so, that we drop it. But in my opinion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we must forward it.
maybe they have their own consideration. Why we set the default setting to be on drop. Yeah.
They say, as a customer are using this though, yeah. And in 2024, we ignore IP version 6. I'm not sure if it's the right way.
But I how to say?
But
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, how to say? Okay. So since I don't want to change the configuration of our lab OLT devices,
yeah.
so I just demonstrate what kind of settings we can.
Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back to the setting of the ONT. And as you can see, that the DNS will list all the created templates in the list here. And if we want to check the detailed setting of the template, we can just click the edit button here. And we can see what kind of setting is applied to this template. And in this case, you can see that this template has a unique profile with a name like this. And also it sets the downstream operation option, the ONT.
Sorry to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
Can you say about something about select only OLT? I understand. What is when I said this? But what I complete both. You can select both, yeah.
Oh yeah, can select both. Yeah.
What makes this for the quality of source configuration?
Because it means that both ONT and LOT will do the bandwidth limitation. Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Because
bandwidth limitation.
Yeah.
Time. But when I set ONT, the ONT will handle up and down.
You can see like only downstream option.
Yeah.
So only downstream direction.
It's downstream from the OLT, downstream from the OLT. It will be each direction. You just have to shift what the direction you are thinking of, right? If you set.
But when I select ONT, means that I only limit the downstream direction.
Oh yeah, that means the rate limitation function will be implemented on the ONT devices. So if your ONT device is not able to accept such setting through ONT from OLT, the rate limit setting on your ONT might not work functionally.
But when I select OLT, they say I want to have 100 megabit symmetry for down and upstream.
Down upstream.
For example,
Yeah.
100 megabits. So
It's something different to differentiate.
yeah, 150, 100 megabit down to 50 megabit upstream. And I set OLT. Will this really limit in only for downstream or also for upstream?
You have from only upstream from ONT. Here. Downstream. Yeah. Because we can find
When you look at the specific the stage you're at, you're looking at the OLT, then it's downstream from the OLT. But if you switch around and you see from the ONT, it's downstream from the OLT. So you just configure the one direction. You could say that it's if you say that you configure it for the ONT, then you can see that the other option can be stream ONT, not OLT. When you do the same thing, it's from which perspective you see the downstream. Yeah. If you switch what direction you're seeing the downstream, it's still called downstream.
Well, it's only the downstream I limit here for this setting OS.
It's the downstream of what perspective you are seeing. Because if you flip it around, it's still downstream.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that information. Okay. Okay, so if we want to create the other profiles, we can select the left here. And we can just press the button like then fill in the parameter we want to apply this to this service profile. And for the setting of the unit profile, we can also select the profile from the top of the menu here. And then as a new button, we can go to the functional page like this. And just like the feedback from Michael before, if we want to enable the configuration, for example, on E1, need to active list row by clicking the active class here, so that we can fill in the information we want. Okay, and as you can see that the unit profile allow us to do further setting for the SLAM port as well. And also the unit port. And the method is the same, like we need to click the checkbox here, then fill in the parameter with the value we want. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce how we can provision our ONT with a exist template on EMS system.
One point is also important that I can import the list from 100. I think at the moment it's 100.
Yeah, at the moment it's 100, but recall we already report the feature request to yeah.
But 100 is of course from ONTs, yeah.
Yeah, right now only maximum 100 at the moment, yeah. And the point that Michael talked about is the import feature that we can exist the Excel list with information of the ONT, such as the GPON serial number and register ID, and we import the data to the EMS system.
Is this API also that we could integrate it with other systems? Provisioning systems from the ISPs?
You mean so a northbound interface?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it has a northbound interface.
Yeah, so you can have that stored someplace else and
CRM system
Mhm.
can directly.
Yeah, and HQ has a document to talk about the MBI interface of the ENS system. Okay, so we click left, select here, and we go to intellect list. And if we want to only filter the those unregistered ONT, we click button. And if you want to change to those registered ONT, for example, here we have a one register on the OID 211. And if we want to change the configuration, we just click it. And okay, we're back to this page.
Nice. It's serious number.
Actually, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they have a data with a 000 number. Yeah, but this part just for demonstration. Okay. Okay, so then we click the table here. And we can add this, we can select like active list ONT and select a template from drop-down menu here. And press the OK. Okay. And since I don't want to change the configuration of the existing ONT, so I just click the cross button. Okay. And so thank you for our attending. So I think we can finish the ENS topic here. Because we already reached we already finished the introduction of the new feature of web EMS system.
Either the AMS or the oral kits in general support Q2.
Q, you mean?
Q2 VLAN stacking.
Oh, yeah. I can show you through the mainline.
You have to do configuration.
Yeah, you can set if you want to let the traffic leave or how to say, send from the ONT's WAN interface to OT device with double take. You can do the setting on a unit profile.
Down ports as well, right? So that you can connect your routed PC or whatever to whatever port or the IPTV for that matter, so that it can connect either way. That's the purpose.
Sorry, I'm trying to see.
So that you aren't bound to a physical port with your IPTV service, for example. So that you don't select, okay, this is the IPTV you can afford. But through using QEQ, you can basically use whatever. Is what I'm asking. If we support them, we figure out that.
QEQ. Sorry, the QEQ function you mean is like a VLAN translation from single take to double take.
No, it's VLAN stacking. So
yeah, VLAN stacking, yeah.
So you will have C VLAN and S VLAN.
Oh, yeah, I can show you how we can do the configuration of a double take, for example. So the idea of like ENS system is actually based on like OLT devices. So I think it will be easier if we understand the function from the OLT side. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that the selection buttons wasn't really, didn't look like it was a thing.
Oh, support. Okay.
This is doesn't say I was up to the down to the was yeah. And out to the down for we just get idea.
The long point of working with this 3D lab.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's distributed to all like that.
Both VLAN to optic.
Yeah. Ah, You must configure